Hey, good people, struggling with diabetes and we're standing tall. Listen, got a great story time and backstory for you today. Matter of fact, I probably have about 2 or 3 different ones I want to share with you, but probably not in this one post, but I just want to share this because I think it's kind of humorous to say the least. And being a type 2 diabetic, this kind of stuff affects me in a different world, television show, in a different way. And so I thought I'd share it with you. So this was several years ago. I was in another country. I was in Yokohama, Japan, and I worked at night. I worked graveyard. I worked at night, and so this particular night, I got off early. So I worked from like about 5 p.m. in the afternoon until 5 in the morning. And so this particular night or day or shift, I got off probably about 1 or 2 in the morning. And so over in Japan, especially where I was living, most individuals, they ride their bikes to work. You know, they whether it's daytime or nighttime, they ride bikes. You know, different than here in America. When I say they ride bikes, I mean all day, every day, to work, to play, to the club, to whatever, have fun, to not have fun. They're riding bikes. And I don't mean just teenagers. I'm talking about the elderly people also. You know, they're like 70 and some cases 80 riding their bikes. And sometimes it's not a bicycle, sometimes it's a tricycle, you know, meaning it's 3 wheels. And they're really getting their exercise on, you know. So I was riding my bike home, and I've been listening to music all my life. I love music, all genres, most genres. I won't say all because I haven't heard them all, but I love a cadre of them. I mean, so many of them. And so this particular morning or this particular night, I was really into this group called Gentle Giant. And if you haven't heard of them, look them up. I believe that they're British or from the UK somewhere. I'm not for sure. They're not from the States. And anyway, I love their odd timing. You know, the music has a lot of odd timing. And the thing that I love most about these musicians is each musician in the band can play the other's instrument. And I mean well. I don't mean a elementary approach. I'm talking about a very well-practiced approach. And so I love that about them. So I'm riding my bike and I'm listening to, you know, and I'm like, yeah. My mouth is open, chewing gum. That's why I mentioned in one of my posts, I think it's in the 7-day realignment. In one of the days, I mentioned about not chewing gum. And this is where it comes from. Because I was chewing my gum and singing, and all of a sudden I see and hear a wasp. And I said, yeah! And soon as it went in my mouth, I closed my mouth and swallowed all simultaneously. Yeah, like that. I didn't know what was happening. And as soon as I did it, I said, uh-oh. And then I jumped up. You should have saw it. It was funny. Now that I look back on it, even then it was funny if you were to look at me, because I jumped off to bite and I started jumping up and down like, trying to cough up the wasp. I knew it was a wasp. I could hear it. It wasn't a bee, it was a wasp. And I'm trying to get it out of my body, and I felt it right here, and it was bzz, bzz, bzz. And I'm telling you, and I'm trying, I'm sticking my finger down my throat so I could throw up. I'm telling you, all of this went on for all about probably 5 minutes. Felt like an hour. And I'm jumping up and I'm trying to foot, and I'm off of my bike, and now people are walking by. People are walking by, looking, and they're looking like strange, like this tall black man. I have to look at it for what it was. And I'm jumping up and down, and they're, Japanese people, they're kind of, 5'5", 5'6", 5'7". They're not 6'3". And so I see them looking at me, and I'm going, trying to get it out, but it wouldn't come out. I couldn't cough it out. I couldn't make myself throw. None of that. And I'm like, and then so I said, okay, what can I do? It's a little baby, a little kid over there talking, and they way over there, and I hear them over here. But nevertheless, I say, okay, what I need to do, I'm trying to think of some things to do. So I say, let me go to the store. And I'm in panic mode. I'm literally in panic mode. And so I go to the store. It's like it would be equivalent to a Circle K or a 7-Eleven here in the States. And so I went in and I said, okay, let me get some bread. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I eat the bread, it'll cover it and make it go all the way down into my stomach, or it'll get stuck and then I could throw it up and it all will come. I'm thinking of everything. And I'm coughing. I take the bread, swallow it, and I'm still feeling not like a electrocution, but like the wings are like fluttering. And so I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna do? And then so I'm like, let me get home, and because I wanted to be out of the streets. So I'm thinking, okay, if I get home, then I'm at home, I could do what I want there, and I can make myself throw up, I could do all of this stuff. So what do? I get home, I go all the way home, and then, but I still haven't thrown up. I still feel the flutter or whatever of the wind. This is what I'm thinking. Pardon me? No, I don't have a dog out here. No, it's okay. No, you're okay. So I'm feeling the flutter of the wings, and I'm like, okay, what can I do? All of this, I'm still panicking, mind you, but I'm thinking, what can I do to get out of this situation? So I had some brown liquor. For those of you who don't know what brown liquor is, it's something like, it's a cognac. I had some, because one of my sponsors, while I was there in Japan, they gave me this high-end cognac. I don't know, it cost like $300 or $400. And I didn't drink, but I took it as a gift. I cracked that thing open. What was I thinking? Maybe I could drink enough and it will kill it. It's alcohol. Maybe it will kill it. I'm trying to listen. I don't have anyone there. I don't have a doctor. I don't have anyone to tell me, okay, try this, do that. No, I'm like improvising like MacGyver. I'm like, let me figure this out. And so I did that, took a drink, nothing. Then I took another one, nothing. And I stopped drinking. I had only 2 cups. I didn't want to continue to do that because I didn't want to be drunk and then have to go to the hospital and they think I'm just drunk, So I called a friend of mine. He was part of the Japanese Yakuza. If you know, you know. But we were real close. And he's like, Bishop Song. He told me what to do. In other words, I needed to go to a hospital, go to emergency room. And so he called, because I didn't speak Japanese. He called for me. And the thing was, the hospital was about 30 miles from where I lived. And then it took them another 15 minutes to get to me. So we're talking about an hour. And I'm in misery because I'm feeling this thing right here. Now, what has this got to do with diabetes? You'll see in a minute. So they finally get there. They take me to, they lay me in this thing. They put on this gurney. I didn't have to be on the gurney. They put these things on my finger to check my, my vitals and all of that. So long story short, I get to the hospital emergency room. They take me in and they put a camera down my throat, And the doctor, he asked me, did I want to see it? Because they had this big, it was like 4K television, even back then. We're talking about in the 90s. It was a 4K, and it was crystal clear. I'm like, I don't want to see the inside of me. He's like, okay, I thought maybe you wanted. And so he stuck to Kevin, and it felt like I wanted to throw up, and he went all the way down, did what they did, came back up. What did they find? Nothing. I'm like, I'm still feeling it, Doc. He said, more than likely, that's in your mind. He said, because once the wasp went down your throat and went into your abdominal cavity or your stomach area, he said the acid that's in your stomach, it killed it, it destroyed it right away. So he said, it's going to be out of your system within a couple of hours with all that you have drinking and all that you have eaten. It's going to come out today. And so they gave me some, I forgot what it was. It was like milk of magnesia, something like that to calm my stomach down. And so I went back to my apartment and I'm like, now back then, the thing is, I didn't know I was diabetic. I knew I could have been diabetic, but I hadn't been officially diagnosed as a diabetic. But what he did tell me, he told me my sugar was extremely high, and then I told him, and I didn't know what had a correlation to what. I said, well, I did eat a lot and I did drink 2 shots of whiskey, or not whiskey, but brandy and cognac or whatever. And he said, well, that may be the reason. But then he said he didn't think so. And he told me to really keep an eye on my glucose. And so he suggested that I get one of those pens to start checking my sugar on a regular basis. And so I went back to work after I went home the next night, and I told, the people there, and they laughed. And I laugh about that now. And I wish I had took heed to that simple thing of, hey, check your sugar. Start checking your sugar. Because it probably would have circumvented me being on dialysis. Who knows? I mean, never know. But I know I didn't check it. I kept on living the way I was living, eating what I was eating. And over there, I was eating a lot. I had gained, I don't know how many pounds I gained, but I know when I left Japan, I was over 300 pounds. Matter of fact, I got a picture, I wish I could find it, of me and some sumo wrestlers. Yeah, I'm going to try and find those pictures. I don't know where it would be. I'm thinking now, I got it somewhere, and eventually I'll find it and I'll share it, But if not, just take my word for it. I was over 300 pounds. And that's because I was eating rice every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was eating rice. I was eating all the wrong foods. I was drinking all the wrong drinks, and sweets and everything. But back to the story time. I really, now looking back on that, I find that so hilarious to see how I was acting after Have you ever swallowed an insect? A lot of us have swallowed like gnats or, stuff like that. I don't even think many of you have swallowed a fly. I don't think so. Let alone a wasp. So that was traumatic for a while, I have to say. For at least 2 to 3 months, I wouldn't open my mouth to hardly talk. I was so afraid. But anyway, that's the story time for today. I hope you found that funny. And I hope you found, the joy and laughter in some of the things that we go through in life, when you look back over some of those things. But me as a type 2 diabetic, I tell you the truth, when I look back over those things, and when I was invited to a place to learn more about myself, and maybe that was a lesson in that. I don't know. Maybe that was the lesson, that doctor telling me, listen, you need to really stay on top of your sugar, your glucose, and get that thing. It was a pen. Now they have different devices, but it was a pen that you had to keep sticking yourself, and then you had to put that little lancet on this device, and it would tell you what your sugar was. I saw my father go through that, and I never wanted any parts of that, what he had to go through, dealing with that. So when that physician told me that, I'm like, I'm good, because they did a whole battery of labs on me, and then he gave me the video. I don't think I ever watched that video. I don't know where it is now. And then he gave me a picture, of, where it would have been, because that thing that went down my throat, it felt the size of a water hose. It probably was the size of a pencil, but in my mind, it exaggerates everything, But anyway, I survived that. I came out of that, and I was unscathed, except for some of the memory scar. Outside of that, it's a hilarious story. So I hope I was able to entertain you with that. Okay, well, that's the story time and backstory for today. I'll see you in another story time and backstory. Bye for now.